Welcome to Dreamy Tales, where soothing stories guide you into a peaceful night's sleep. Enjoy imaginative bedtime stories that take you on a journey to the land of dreams, accompanied by relaxing background sounds to help you unwind and drift off easily. Perfect for both children and adults, Dreamy Tales is your ideal companion to relax, wind down, and enjoy tranquil moments. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and share it with others. Tune in, relax, and let your mind wander into a world of calm and serenity with us. When the group sneaked in after midnight, the atmosphere buzzed with enchantment. Stars reflected off the tents, and strange creatures roamed, seemingly plucked from dreams themselves. Juggling starlit orbs, acrobats twirled through the air, and mystical animals, griffins, phoenixes, and unicorns, performed under shimmering lights. "This place is beyond anything I imagined," Max whispered, his eyes wide with wonder. "We shouldn't be here," Grace muttered nervously, clutching her backpack. "If we're caught, we're in big trouble." But Lila, always the brave one, waved away her concerns. "Come on, Grace. How many chances do we get to see a circus that grants dreams?" A golden ticket booth stood at the far end of the grounds, its glow more dazzling than the rest of the circus. Above it, a large sign read, "Meet the Dream Maker. One wish, one dream, no return." Finn, the quietest of the group, stepped forward, staring at the sign. "No return? What does that mean?" Lila shrugged. "Guess we'll find out." They pushed their way through velvet curtains to the center of the circus, where a lone figure stood on a circular platform. He was unlike anything they had seen, tall and cloaked in a long coat made from shimmering stardust. His eyes glowed, reflecting the constellations, and in his hands, he held a swirling orb of light. "Welcome, brave dreamers," he spoke, his voice soft yet commanding. "I am the Dream Maker. Each of you may ask for one wish. But beware, once granted, dreams cannot be undone." The four friends exchanged uncertain glances. Max, ever the adventurer, stepped forward. "I wish to be the fastest runner in the world, faster than any human ever." The Dream Maker's eyes gleamed. He whispered into the orb, and it burst into a blinding light that enveloped Max. When the light faded, Max grinned. He felt light as air, ready to run across the world. But Lila noticed something strange. Max's shadow no longer followed him. Instead, it flickered and darted as though it were trying to catch up. She looked to Finn and Grace nervously. Next, Grace nervously approached. "I wish to be the smartest person in the world." Once again, the Dream Maker whispered into the orb. A light engulfed Grace, and suddenly she felt every problem in the world melt into clarity. Equations, solutions, languages, all flowed through her mind effortlessly. She was now the smartest person alive. But her smile faltered when she realized she could no longer relate to her friends. Every conversation seemed too simple, and no matter how hard she tried, Grace felt disconnected, lost in her new intelligence. I didn't expect this," she muttered to herself, staring down at her hands. Finn was next, hesitant but curious. "I wish to have the power to create anything I imagine." The dream maker obliged, and Finn felt a surge of creative energy course through him. With just a thought, he could conjure anything: buildings, machines, even creatures. But as he crafted one magnificent thing after another, he quickly realized there was no end to what he could create, and no satisfaction in the perfection. Soon, the creations lost their wonder, leaving Finn feeling hollow. As Lila stood there, watching her friends struggle with the unexpected outcomes of their wishes, her heart raced. She had dreamed of this moment, meeting the dream maker, standing in the heart of the legendary Starlight Circus, but now, all she felt was uncertainty. Finn, Grace, and Max had all been so confident in their choices, only to discover that dreams, when granted, came with a cost they hadn't anticipated. Lila's mind whirled. What would she ask for? Fame? Fortune? Adventure? She had always felt like she wanted something more, something bigger than the small town she lived in. She had imagined herself traveling the world, meeting new people, seeing incredible sights. But now, standing in front of the dream maker, those dreams seemed distant, like shadows on the edge of her mind. "Why haven't you made your wish yet?" The dream maker's voice broke into her thoughts, soft but insistent. His glowing eyes were fixed on her, and she felt the weight of his gaze. Unlike with her friends, he didn't seem eager or rushed. His tone was calm, almost as if he knew she needed more time. Lila took a step forward, her eyes locked on the swirling orb of light in his hands. It pulsed gently, as if it were alive, waiting for her wish to give it form. She swallowed hard. She hesitated. "I don't know what I want." The dream maker tilted his head, his expression unreadable but patient. "Not knowing is a wish in itself," he murmured. Many dreamers come with visions of what they believe will make them happy, but the greatest challenge is understanding what you truly desire. Lila bit her lip. She had always thought she knew what she wanted. But now, standing in front of a being who could grant her anything in the world, she realized that maybe she wasn't ready. Maybe, like her friends, she would end up regretting her wish. The fear of making the wrong choice gnawed at her. "Can I walk away?" Lila asked, her voice trembling slightly. The dream maker's eyes softened, and for the first time, a gentle smile tugged at the corner of his lips. "You may. Every dream comes with a price, and some prices are not worth paying. Walking away is the wisest wish of all." Lila blinked, surprised by his response. She had expected him to push her, to insist that she make a choice, but instead, he offered her an out. Relief washed over her. Maybe, just maybe, the life she had wasn't so bad after all. She didn't need a grand adventure or a wild wish to find happiness. She could create her own magic, in her own way, without the risk of losing herself in the process. "I think I'll do that," Lila said quietly, stepping back from the dream maker and the swirling orb of light. "Thank you." The dream maker nodded solemnly. "You are always welcome here, dreamer. Remember, the most powerful dreams are the ones we choose to pursue on our own. As the four friends made their way out of the Starlight Circus, the magical atmosphere around them seemed to grow quieter, more subdued. The bright lights that had once dazzled them now appeared softer, the strange creatures less mystical. It was as if the circus knew their time here was ending, and it was slowly retreating back into the shadows from which it had emerged. Max was the first to break the silence. I thought being the fastest would feel amazing," he said, his voice tinged with regret. "But I feel like I've lost something. I can't catch my breath anymore. My shadow keeps slipping away." Grace, too, seemed distant, her once bright eyes now clouded with an overwhelming knowledge that isolated her from the others. "I thought being smart would make everything clearer," she whispered. "But it's lonely. I know too much. I can't even talk to you guys the same way anymore." Finn, who had conjured worlds from his imagination, was perhaps the most conflicted. "I can create anything now," he said softly, his hands trembling slightly. "But nothing I make feels real. Everything is too perfect, too easy. There's no challenge, no satisfaction." Lila walked quietly beside her friends, listening to their confessions. She had been the only one who hadn't made a wish, and now she was grateful for it. She had always envied Max's confidence, Grace's intellect, and Finn's creativity, but now she saw that even the grandest of dreams could come with unforeseen consequences. As they approached the edge of the circus grounds, the glow of the tents behind them began to fade, as if the Starlight Circus itself was slowly vanishing into the night. The entrance, once so inviting, now seemed like a distant memory, a fading dream. "We'll be okay," Lila said, breaking the heavy silence. She looked at each of her friends in turn, her heart full of compassion. "We'll figure this out. Maybe we don't need magic to make our dreams come true. Maybe we can do it ourselves." Max looked down at his feet, his once boundless energy now subdued. "You really think so?" Lila smiled. "Yeah, I do. We don't need wishes to be extraordinary. We've always had what it takes inside us." Grace nodded slowly, her sharp mind processing Lila's words. Maybe the dream maker wasn't really about granting wishes. Maybe he was trying to show us something. That we're capable of creating our own futures. Finn, still grappling with the enormity of his power, sighed. "I hope you're right, Lila. Because right now, I feel more lost than ever." Lila placed a hand on his shoulder. "You're not lost. We'll help each other find our way. That's what friends are for." Together, the four friends walked away from the Starlight Circus, the magical experience now behind them. They didn't have all the answers, and their lives wouldn't be perfect. But they had each other, and that was enough. As the last flicker of circus lights disappeared into the night, they knew that the real magic was in the journey ahead, in the dreams they would chase on their own terms. And as they left, Lila looked back one last time, her heart full of hope. The Starlight Circus would always be there, a reminder that dreams are powerful, and that the best ones are the ones you work for yourself.